There is a village in Sicily where the sun bakes the stone white and the poverty bakes everything else hollow. You grow up in a house with 5 people in 2 rooms. Your father works someone else's land. Your mother prays to a saint who never answers. And somewhere between hunger and humiliation, you start to notice the men in town who never bow their heads to anyone. They wear clean shirts. They eat first. When they walk into a room, the room rearranges itself around them. You are 11 years old. And you have just learned the most dangerous lesson of your life. Power exists. And the people who have it don't look like priests. This is Cosa Nostra, the Sicilian Mafia, and this is your life inside it, from the very bottom to the very top, where every promotion brings you closer to a throne that is also a coffin. Level Uno. Ragazzo di strada, street boy. You're 14 years old. You don't have a title. You don't have a rank. You are a face in the alley, a boy who can run fast and keep his mouth shut. That's all they need from you right now. A man named Turi, everyone calls him Zio, uncle, though he's no one's uncle, gives you your first job. Stand at the corner of Via Cataldo. Watch for police cars. If you see one, whistle twice. That's it. 2 notes, and you've entered a world you can never fully leave. For this, you get 50,000 lire a week. It's nothing. It's everything. Your mother asks where the money comes from. You say you helped unload fish at the dock. She knows you're lying. She takes the money anyway, because the gas bill is overdue and your little brother needs shoes. You start running packages. Small envelopes. You never open them. You never ask. One night, you see Zio slap a shopkeeper so hard the man's glasses shatter on the cobblestone. Nobody calls the police. The shopkeeper apologizes. To Zio. You feel something shift inside your chest. Not fear exactly. Recognition. This is how the world actually works. Not through prayer. Not through patience. Through the willingness to make someone afraid of you. You are 14. And you are already paying a debt you don't know you owe. Level due. Picciotto, young soldier. You're 17. You've proven yourself. You show up on time. You don't talk. You don't flinch. And so they give you more. You collect pizzo now protection money from the small businesses on 3 blocks of Palermo. A bakery. A butcher. A pharmacy. Every week, you walk in, they hand you an envelope, and you walk out. No words necessary. Your presence is the sentence. One baker refuses, says he's tired, says he'll go to the police. You report it to your Capodecina. 2 nights later, the bakery burns. Not all of it, just enough. The baker pays double the following week, with bandaged hands and wet eyes. You tell yourself you didn't light the match. You tell yourself this is just business. But when you lie in bed at night, you can smell the smoke in your clothes, and you realize the smell doesn't bother you as much as it should. They start calling you by a nickname. You have a reputation now. Not big, but real. Girls in the neighborhood look at you differently. Your father looks at you differently too, but he looks away faster. You're making real money. You buy your mother a new stove. She cries. You can't tell if it's gratitude or grief. This is who you are now. Level 3. Soldato, made man. You're 22. And tonight changes everything. You are taken to a farmhouse outside Corleone. The room is dim. Candles, a long table. 6 men sit in silence. The capo holds a small card, a holy picture, the image of a saint. He pricks your trigger finger with a needle. Your blood drips onto the card. He lights it on fire and places it in your cupped hands. The flame eats the saint's face. You recite the words. As this saint burns, so will I burn if I ever betray Cosa Nostra. You don't flinch. The fire singes your palms. You let it. You are now a man of honor. Un uomo d'onore. A made man. This means 2 things. Every member of the family will protect you with their life. And if you break the code of omerta silence, they will take your life with the same certainty. You are given a territory, a crew. Soldati beneath you handle the daily work, the extortion, the cigarette smuggling, the loan sharking. You oversee. You report upward. You earn, and a percentage of everything flows up to your capo, to the underboss, to the boss. Always upward. Your girlfriend becomes your wife. She knows what you are. She doesn't say it. In Sicily, there is a word for this silence between husband and wife, when the truth is too heavy to carry, but too dangerous to drop. The word is marriage. You sleep with a gun under your pillow, not because anyone is coming for you, but because the habit of fear is the first thing Cosa Nostra teaches and the last thing it takes away. Being made means you belong to something. It also means something belongs to you and it will never let go. Level 4. Capodecina Captain. You're 29. You now run a crew of 10 soldati. A decina. Your territory covers a district in Palermo: construction, garbage collection, public contracts. Everything flows through you, every permit, every bid, every envelope. The legitimate world and the criminal world are not parallel lines. Here they are the same line. And you hold the pen. You learn to read people the way a surgeon reads an X-ray. Who is loyal? Who is ambitious? Who talks too much at dinner? A soldato named Carmelo starts wearing expensive shoes and dating a woman from Catania. You don't like it. Not the woman, the shoes. A man who spends loudly is a man who will talk loudly. You have Carmelo transferred to another crew. Quietly. A warning wrapped in a favor. The money is serious now. You launder it through construction companies, through restaurants, through the concrete itself. They say half the buildings in Palermo have mafia money mixed into their foundations. Literally, you pour your sins into the cement and call it infrastructure. But the Carabinieri are watching. Anti-mafia prosecutors are building cases. You change phones every week. You never speak names aloud. Messages are delivered through third parties, through gestures, through silence. Your children are growing. Your oldest son asks why men kiss your hand when they greet you. You tell him it's a sign of respect. He asks why. You have no answer that won't break something inside him. The weight of command is not the decisions. It's the distance between you and everyone who used to know the boy you were. Level 5. Consigliere, the advisor. You're 36. You are no longer a man of action. You are a man of whispers. The boss trusts you not because you are the strongest, but because you are the smartest. You see the whole board while others see only their square. Your role is to advise the Capofamiglia on strategy, mediate disputes between crews, negotiate with other families, the Corleonesi, the Trapanesi, the families in America. You are the voice that speaks before the gun fires, and sometimes, if you're good, the gun never fires at all. But you know something the others don't. You've read the court documents. You've seen the photographs the state has. Pentiti. Traitors. Informants are everywhere. Men you ate with, men who kissed your cheek at Easter, have been wearing wires, recording, betraying. Trust is no longer a feeling. It's a calculation. And every calculation has a margin of error that can cost you 25 years in a cell or a bullet behind the ear. You stop sleeping through the night. Not from guilt. From arithmetic. Level say. Sottocapo Underboss. You're 42. You are the second most powerful man in the family. When the boss speaks, it is often your words coming out of his mouth. When he is unavailable in hiding, in prison, in negotiation, you are the family. Every decision, every kill order, every alliance passes through your hands. You live behind walls now, a compound in the countryside, cameras, guards, dogs. Your wife hasn't been to a restaurant in 2 years. Your children attend school under false names. This is what the throne room looks like from inside a beautiful prison with olive trees. The boss is aging. Sick. Perhaps. The families are watching. Other underbosses in other provinces are wondering what happens next. Succession in Cosa Nostra is not inherited, it is taken. And everyone around you is measuring you for either a crown or a casket. You attend a meeting with bosses from the Commission, the Cupola, the governing body of Sicilian Mafia families. 12 men in a room deciding the fate of an island. Billions of euros. Political elections. Judges. The conversation is calm, almost boring. That's the horror of it. Genocide discussed in the same tone as dinner reservations. You realize you haven't genuinely laughed in years. You can't remember the last time you said something true to someone who wasn't afraid of you. Power doesn't isolate you. It replaces you, piece by piece, until the man you were is just a rumor the man you are is heard about. Level seta. You're 49. You are the Don, the capo, the head of the family. Men who command hundreds bow to you. Politicians return your calls. Judges recuse themselves from your cases. In your province, nothing moves without your permission. Not money, not concrete, not votes, not blood. And yet, you haven't walked a public street in 4 years. You communicate through pizzini tiny handwritten notes folded into squares, passed hand to hand through a chain of couriers. Because phones are death and email is suicide, your most intimate conversations take 36 hours to arrive. Toto Riina ran the Corleonesi for decades from hiding. Bernardo Provenzano was a fugitive for 43 years. Living in a farmhouse, running an empire through paper notes, you understand now what they understood. The boss is the most powerful man in the room and the most trapped man on the island. The anti-mafia police are relentless. Operation after operation. Your consigliere was arrested last month. 2 Capodecina have become informants. The state offers them new names, new faces, new lives. They take the deal. They always take the deal. You sit alone at night in a house with stone walls and no internet, reading a note that says, "A man you loved like a brother has testified against you in a courtroom in Rome." You burn the note. You give the order. The brother disappears. You feel nothing. That's the worst part. Not the violence. The nothing. This is the top. This is what every boy on every corner in every village dreams of reaching. A room, alone. Waiting for the door to open and not knowing if it will be a courier or a SWAT team. The crown is made of silence. And it fits perfectly. Level 8. Capo di tutti capi, boss of all bosses. The endgame. You're 57. They call this rank the boss of all bosses. The title is a myth officially, it doesn't exist. But power doesn't care about titles. You control the cupola, you arbitrate between families across Sicily. Your reach extends to New York, to Sao Paulo, to Frankfurt. Drug routes. Money pipelines. Political networks. You are the center of a web that spans continents, and the center of a web doesn't move. It waits. Your health is failing, years of stress, of hiding, of processed food eaten in basements. Your doctor visits you in secret. Your children have distanced themselves. One lives in London under a different surname. Your wife prays for you every morning and sleeps alone every night. The state has built a case. Hundreds of charges. Testimonies from 14 pentiti. Photographs, wiretaps, financial records. They have been building it for 12 years. Slowly, patiently, the way you once built your empire. The arrest comes at dawn. Helicopters. Armored vehicles. 60 officers in a town of 300 people. They find you in a hidden room behind a wardrobe. A room so small you could touch both walls with your arms stretched wide. The most powerful man in Sicily. Found in a space the size of a coffin. The trial takes 3 years. You are sentenced to multiple life terms under 4-1, bis the harshest prison regime in Italy. No contact visits. 1 hour of outdoor time per day. Letters censored. Conversations monitored. A concrete box designed not to punish the body, but to erase the mind. You are 61 years old. You will die in this room. But here's the thing. Back in that village, where the sun bakes the stone white and the poverty bakes everything else hollow, there's a boy. 14, standing on a corner, watching for police cars. He whistles twice when he sees one. A man in a clean shirt hands him 50 euros. The boy's mother asks where the money came from. He says he helped unload fish at the dock. She takes the money. The machine has already chosen its next part. This is Cosa Nostra, our thing. The thing that owns you the moment you think you own it. The machine never stops. It just changes faces.